All right, welcome to day 23. Today is another leg workout. Same structure, 1-1-1. Watch is already started. We are going to do, let's do 3 warm-up sets and turn my computer off here. Sleep. 3 warm-up sets and then 6 sets of work. Today we're going to focus mostly on isometrics. So let's just keep moving for a bit. Then we're going to start. Plug one here. Okay. All right, we begin. Now, just going to do some regular squats. Just going to go all the way down and all the way back up. And by way of an update, the arm is actually so much better today than it has been. I do regain a little bit of my range of motion every single day, but I'm still trying to take it easy as much as possible on the arm. I'm definitely not lifting anything heavier than the weight of my arm itself, because even doing that I still feel some pain and tightness in that shoulder. So I'm just going to continue to ice every day, take my Tylenol for the pain. All right, that's the end of our minute of work. I'm just going to do 5 more. I actually bought some of that tart cherry extract that I was telling you guys about. 2 more. Okay. Yeah, I bought some of those tart cherry tablets. The tart cherry is supposedly really good for reducing inflammation, and that's the issue right now. There's just more inflammation in that tendon than there should be, which is why it hurts so much. I'm also taking vitamin C, which is supposed to help the tendon to rebuild itself. I'm still going to take naproxen because that also helps with getting that swelling down, but I've decided that I'm not going to take the Xanaflex or cyclobenzaprine anymore, because that stuff competes with your liver. You know, your liver has to process that medication, and I don't want to put too much strain on my liver, so I decided that I'm going to go with mostly natural remedies. So as you can see, I can move my arm, I can lift it. This is probably about the highest I can go now, whereas with this I can go all the way up. But even this is a huge improvement, because when this first started to hurt, I couldn't even move it beyond here. So being able to lift it up to here is actually quite the improvement. All right, we're going to start with our second warm-up round in a bit. Like I said, I'm going to focus on isometrics today, so just a lot of holds, bit of a different modality from the last time. Last time we did mostly just full range of motion. We're going to begin just going to do some squats again to warm up those legs. When we're done with this 1-minute warm-up, I'm just going to do some high knees to bring up the heart rate, warm up the body a little bit. You know, as I said in my last video, I'd really been feeling like I wasn't really doing anything and that nothing was really working. Stepping on the scale, numbers not going down, actually going up. When I started this, I was 217.6. Stepped on the scale this morning, 218.4. So a little discouraging, but a good reminder that sometimes the scale doesn't tell, often the scale doesn't tell the full story. Sometimes you have to focus on NSVs, That's a term that I learned in the Fat Secret community. For those of you who don't know, Fat Secret is an app, the app that I use to track my food. NSVs, non-scale variables, things like your measurements, your waist size, arm size, how your clothes fit, how strong you feel, things that the scale is not going to account for, but that are equally, if not more, potent, more viable indicators of progress. 1:45, okay. Now, since I'm using my phone, I can't actually see the time. I can just hear the beeps. So I'm estimating what's a minute. Well, except for the work intervals, I know those are exactly a minute long because I hear the beep. But the 2-minute rest between intervals, I kind of have to estimate where the middle is, or like where the split is, so that I can stop doing cardio and rest for the last minute before the next strength block begins. So now I'm just resting. The next strength block, or the next warm-up block anyway, should start shortly. In the meantime, I'm just gonna let my heart rate come down. It's at 130 now. So that's still aerobic. Okay, now we're down to zone 2. All right, yeah, 5 seconds. This is our last warm-up run. I'm just gonna do some forward lunges this time. Get a little bit of a different movement. You know, when I do this before, and by this I mean trying to get in shape, in previous years, when I was younger, it was all about how hard I could go. How much can you work out? How little can you eat? How fast can you lose weight? Not realizing that success comes from doing a little bit consistently and not doing a lot for a little bit and then stopping, which was the pattern. So now I am, all right, cardio block. Dismiss. Yeah, so now I'm rewiring my brain to get comfortable with the fact that, one, this process is going to be a lot slower than I initially thought. So I'm thinking in terms of 6 months to a year or more, as opposed to 3 to 5 months, especially for the kind of results visually that I want. I'm gonna do 10 more of these, and then I'm gonna rest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 158. Wow, we're in the middle of zone 4. Okay. You know, today I was looking at a short from one of my favorite YouTube channels, Body by Mark, and there was this guy on there. He's my age, 40. I'm actually 42. This guy was ripped, fit, big arms, super cut, had some veins going on. And Mark asked him, "Hey, how do you get so fit? What do you supplement with?" And he's like, "Oh, steroids." And he was so honest about it. You know, when we're in an age where so many people are not honest about what they do to stay in shape and to get fit, especially over a certain age, 35 plus. Because all right, let's get into our first set of isos. Okay, I'm doing a wall squat. Legs are almost 90, but not quite, because still warming up. But yeah, you know, when you're over a certain age, sometimes you have to, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, for the briefest moment, the briefest second, I wanted to use steroids. As crazy as that might sound, but that was the old impulsive me talking, trying to get those results fast rather than putting in the work, spending the time. My legs are really starting to shake now, so I know I'm working. I'm gonna come up a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so sometimes coming up a few inches really helps you to be able to get to the end. Oh, that hurts. Back down, 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, I'm gonna do 60 of these and that should be 60 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. All right, we're in zone 4. That's where I want to be. So yeah, for the briefest second, I was tempted to look into anabolic steroids, maybe some testosterone therapy. Because, you know, for those of you who might see this, you're a man over 35, 40 years old. Testosterone tends to fall when you get to a certain age. Now, I don't know the specifics of how it works and what those ages are, but from a general standpoint, and I generally know that the older you get, it's more important to maintain as much muscle mass as possible, because if you don't, your testosterone drops, and then that lack of testosterone starts to affect you in other areas of your life. And if you're a man, you know, to keep it PG, obviously you know what I'm talking about. You don't want that to happen. If you got a girlfriend, whatever, a wife, a partner, you want to keep as much of your performance as possible, obviously. Staying in shape, staying fit, the best way to do that, I find. All right, let's do another set of these wall squats. We got a minute on the clock. I'm gonna try to stay in this for the full minute. No promises though. You know what I love? I love how everyone on the internet's an expert. When you see videos of people who look super fit, there's always some idiot in the comments talking about the cocktail, going into detail about the cocktail of steroids that this person is definitely using to look like that. Now, I'm no expert. I've said this many times. It's in the description of my channel. I'm just keeping active. I'm trying to stay fit. I'm trying to nourish myself. Legs ache. I'm gonna come up. Trying to nourish myself, nourish my body. Stay moving. Oh, 1 minute. 60 knee-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. Almost to the middle of zone 4. So definitely starting to warm up. Probably have about a minute left for the next set. For the next set, I think I'm going to do a split leg squat with the left leg in front. We're going to hold that for, we're going to try to 60 seconds. Now, for those of you wondering where my stretch workouts are. I actually don't post those anymore. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna post one sort of general stretch workout that people can follow along with if they want to. You can do those on your off day. On my arm heals, I'm gonna do a video for upper body stretches, and then of course I'm gonna do one for lower body stretches as well. That way, that's up there, that's evergreen content. You can watch those videos whenever you want to and get your stretch on your off days. But I found that doing and posting a video every single day was kind of becoming a bit much, but I can manage 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just posting accountability in my community tab. All right, let's start. Left leg is forward. Now this left leg is not fully parallel to the floor, I'm just gonna be honest. It's at a little bit of an angle, maybe this much. It's not like this, it's probably like this. But that back leg is struggling to keep me stabilized. It's starting to quiver a little bit. And I'm feeling it in the quad, close to the knee. Okay, I'm coming for like 2 seconds. Back down. You know, I will say that after a little bit more than 3 weeks of doing this, I'll hold this wall. Okay, I'm really starting to, we got about 5 seconds left. Okay, 60 knee ups. 8, 9, 10. 30. 40. 50. 60. All right, right in the middle of zone 4. Okay, so I found the ticket, know how to get the heart up. What was I saying? Yeah, so I've gotten to a point where I sort of know how my body's gonna react when I eat a certain number of calories. I know what my body's gonna burn in a given day based on my activity levels. So for instance, and you've probably seen this in my TDEE versus intake shorts, on any given walking day, I'm burning at least 2,900 calories. I know that for a fact. It's been consistent. Yesterday I burned 3,200. So it's usually anywhere, it's around 3,000 to 3,200. So I know on those days, I need to eat something like 2,300, maybe 2,400 calories. Otherwise, I'm going to be hungry. Another thing that I notice is that anytime my deficit goes above 1,000 calories, I'm going to be hungry. I'm starving. I'll eat anything that's put in front of me. And that's a really dangerous place to be in, especially if you want to lose fat. 1 minute strength block, right leg in front. I'm going to hold on to this wall. So yeah, once my deficit's between, I would say 500 and 700. I mean, I've gone as high as 800. 800 is supposed to be the absolute top limit. Some days I just can't manage it because it's too late. One thing that I need to learn to get better at is meal distribution. Sometimes I start too late, so I end up eating too late. And I think that those late night meals tend to affect my weigh-ins the following day. Because like, I know I'm losing weight, I know I'm losing fat, but sometimes the scale doesn't say that. And I think it's because I've got extra, I'm gonna come up for a second, because I've got extra food mass in my stomach when I go to bed the night before. All right, 1 minute of cardio. I'm actually gonna just jog. The other thing that I was considering is, you guys ever seen those ads on YouTube for the home gym from Expedience, the Gym Monster 1 and 2? I'm just looking at the space I have in my room. I think I could probably fit one in here if I move some stuff around. So I'm actually seriously considering putting one in here, but not yet. I gotta figure out the space situation, and of course the money situation, because those things are not cheap. $3,300 for the GM2. Okay. The first one is less than $2,000. The second one is like 3,300. But something like that, if I had that at home, I would probably work out every day, because I remember years ago, it's probably in my early 20s, I had a you guys remember they started, when it first came out, it's called the cross bow, but then they changed it into the cross bar. It's kind of like a Bowflex. Had those flexible bow things that the bow resistance. I used to work out with that every day, and I lost a bunch of weight. But then we put it in storage when we moved because we didn't have enough room. So, but it was big. It took up a lot of space. But yeah. Whew. All right. Let's try some wall squats again. Legs are feeling kind of warm. Gotta see if I can drop down a little bit lower. Almost parallel, but not quite. And I'm already feeling this. One thing I will say is that I'm learning very, very slowly but surely that this whole losing weight thing, getting in shape, losing fat specifically, is just a numbers game. It's just a numbers game. All right, we're gonna come out. Ooh. Oh, feel that, feel that, feel that. All right, I'm gonna do some high knees, move 60, and then rest. Yeah, so this losing fat thing is just, it's a numbers game. If you eat X calories, or if you burn X calories, you eat X minus 500, X minus 700 or 800 at the most, and you're gonna lose fat. I mean, it's that simple, but it's also that hard, which I know sounds contradictory, and I lost count. Let's do 30 more of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 20, 26, 30. See how many more sets of this we have. Can't even tell. Should maybe be 1 or 2 more sets and then we're done for the day. So starting tomorrow, I'm gonna try to start eating early so that my last meal is about 3 hours before bed. So, and I'll see if that affects the number on the scale the following day. Because I know for sure last night I ate very, very close to bedtime, and I still had, like, there's still food in my stomach when I went to sleep. So more than likely that affected the weight on the scale this morning. So tonight, I'm gonna try to get everything done. If I go to sleep at midnight, we really should try to go to sleep at 10 or 11, which means I should eat my last meal by like 8 or 9. All right, I'm just gonna do some regular squats because my legs are tired. But I'm gonna tempo them, I'm gonna go slow. I'm gonna stay at the bottom for like 2 seconds. Come up in 5, go down in 5, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really feeling this? Okay, there we go. And that's it. Done for the day. Heart rate 140, we're in aerobic. Let's just take a minute or two to bring this down. This was day 23. The grand experiment, as I like to call it. So we're getting close to the end of block 1, which ends on March the 5th, which is what, in 2 days? Yeah, let's see how many calories I burn here. 314, not bad. So the first block ends on March the 5th. Already spoke to the coach. For the next 3 weeks, we're essentially going to do the same thing. This next block is going to be about reinforcing the habits that I learned in block 1, which is, of course, strength training 3 times a week, walking 4 times a week, eating 1900 to 2100 calories per day, or barring that, making sure the deficit is no more than, say, 800 calories, so no more 1000 calorie, 1400 calorie deficits, because that is a disaster for binging. And keeping the protein count between 130 and 140 grams per day. Obviously, the more the better for me, because I'm big, 6'1", 2 something, close to 220. So yeah, I'm gonna cool down, go take a shower, get lunch, and I'll see you guys on day 25.